So external research starts with this. You have Google, which you're probably all familiar with, but then there's Google Scholar. Here's the difference. When you're doing research and you use Google, you're going to get 80 billion opinions. And we already learned today that opinions aren't science. So instead, use Google Scholar. Google Scholar brings back cited, referenced, researched, credible, peer-reviewed, journal, academic, credible research that we can begin pulling from. So for my team, when they're doing research, it's not Google, it's Google Scholar. And by the way, Google Scholar is free. And who doesn't love free? So let me continue on that idea. I want to share with you some research firms that are free and are probably as unbiased as possible. I don't want to say they're completely unbiased, but I'll start with the fact they're free and partially unbiased. World Economic Forum, McKinsey Global Institute. These should be in your bookmarks, favorited, and you should be reviewing these on a reoccurring basis, at least twice a year. Spend time reviewing what they say about your industry, about your stakeholders, about the skill gaps that you may have in your organization, what they're projecting that's going to happen in the next year, 2 years. And then you compile all of this data. Here's why. Your stakeholder is inadvertently going to come to you at some point and say, I need you to create a 30-minute web-based training. I need you to create a 2-day ILT that's going to revolutionize our organization and just change behavior. We all get that. So there's 2 ways you can respond. The first way is you can directly say, I don't think that's the right approach. Here's how I might suggest that we do that. I just said I twice, me. It's very easy for my stakeholder to argue against my word. They love to argue with us. They know better than we do. It's fine. Let's acknowledge that. So here's a different approach to that. That's a really great idea that you have. We spent some time doing some research on this, and here's what our learners actually say from the service line is the challenge that they're facing. And then we actually spent some time with the World Economic Forum and McKinsey Global Institute, and here's what they say about this specific issue. And by the way, we also researched and found this white paper that exists from one of our competitors. They went through something similar. This was their problem, and this is what their outcome was. So we could potentially do it the way you're suggesting, but this might be an alternative way that we could move forward. It's very difficult for them to argue against all of this. Now, difficult, I didn't say it was guaranteed. They love to argue with us, but research makes us more credible. So you want to start with your evolutionary journey towards being more credible. You root everything that we do in science, brain science, and you root it and ground it in research and data.